Okay, you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, so tell.
It's breathing a little bit. Let me take my Wi-Fi out. Hold on. Let me see if that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if it works now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so tell me your story about life with a disability. Just tell me anything you want to share, and then I'll ask questions and we'll fill in some gaps later, okay?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm 33 years old. I actually have multiple disabilities. One is called the DeJoy syndrome, and that's a genetic disorder where my 22nd chromosome is half chipped. And then I have a mental disability called schizoaffective disorder.
Okay. Okay. So, what is your earliest memory of being like feeling different, feeling your disability?
I was probably in fifth grade because that's when my heart condition with the DeJoy syndrome with the genetic condition.
Uh-huh.
One of the main things was my heart. I have a missing pulmonary artery on the left side, and I
Mhm.
have pulmonary arteries and heart murmurs. And I was trying to do track and field, and
Mhm.
for some reason, like even though I had the heart condition my whole life, that was the first time that my parents had to take me to the doctor, like, and let me know, well, this is what you got going on, because they never wanted me to, back in the day, the second that you had some kind of disability, they were putting you in learning disability classes.
Yeah.
And my mom and daddy, they didn't want me to be limited to just learning disability classes, so they never let me know what was going on, although they monitored it and took me to the doctor. But fifth grade was the first time that, when I was trying to run track, that was the first time that the heart condition bothered me so bad that they had to start sitting down and talking to me about what was going on.
Got you. And how did that make you feel?
Uh, Because they had, I guess protected me so well, it didn't make me feel any different because it's not like I felt like I had to start telling my teachers in school, but we
Mhm.
kind of didn't really tell like our friends and family members. So, and the ones that I did tell, they accepted me just like they did before.
Good. So I'm glad you brought up school. How was school for you?
Um, it was challenging. My mom put me in Catholic school because the classes were smaller because I wasn't able to pass, in public school since there's so many more students. The student to teacher ratio is so much bigger.
Mhm.
So Catholic school, I was able to surpass having low test scores because I tested low in everything except for English and reading. In English and reading, I was like in eighth grade in high school, but in everything else, I kind of had like developmental issues with testing.
Okay. And so you mentioned your mother and your father a lot. Who was your support when dealing with your disability?
My mother, my father, and my sister.
Janine, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love her. She's great. Um, did anybody treat you differently?
No. Not as I wouldn't say like as kids. When I got older, I've only met like one person who kind of like was cold hearted towards having health issues, and it's kind of crazy because they got health issues themselves. So I
Projection.
don't.
Right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't understand it, but um. but even when my family did start learning about my health conditions in my adult life, nobody treated me different.
That's good. I love that you had that experience. Um, in regards to your conditions, have you connected with any like agencies or like social work type deals? Have there been any like programs that have been helpful to you that you've utilized?
Um, I just used pretty much. I've used like Social Security. I'm on Social Security for work. That has helped me be able to like balance out going to school for myself and then figuring out what I want to do without, feeling so crushed. Because if I had to work with my disabilities, if I had to work and go to school, not saying I couldn't do it, but it would be harder. And I know that.
So is Social Security is like supplemental income basically?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the process like to get the benefits?
Oh, it was hard. I started getting them when I was younger because our dad died before I reached high school. So you know how you could get on it if your parents, made a certain amount of money and put into the disability. I was on that. I got kicked off when I was 19 because that's the age you could legally get kicked off. But I had to fight. I wasn't initially diagnosed. My initial mental disorder was bipolar. I don't really understand the schizoaffective yet. That's something I have to ask my doctor. What's the definition and what's the difference between that and bipolar? I didn't get diagnosed with the bipolar until I was 19 in college.
Mhm.
And I was trying to balance being away at school. I was at Western at the time, and I just had like a lot of ups and down mood swings.
Mhm.
And I went to the school psychiatry department, and that's when I got diagnosed with the bipolar. And when I got diagnosed, I did try to commit suicide a couple of times, and after that, that's when I was able to get on the Social Security again.
Okay. So you had to go through all that in order to, and they had to like document it and stuff like that
Yes.
and like sign the paper, do all the paperwork and stuff. And so
Yeah.
they did you get on the first time you tried? Because I know sometimes.
No,
Okay.
I got denied, and then I got a lawyer, and I thank God for him because I use him every time they try to review me because they will try to use any and everything that's stable, even though bipolar doesn't go away. Anything that looks stable, they try to use it to get me kicked out. Um, and luckily, I'm still under my dad's social security, so I get a lot more. I get closer to what retirement people get.
Oh yeah.
Um, but they could kick me down to the 7,800 that most people get just because they're disabled, but they keep trying to kick me all the way out. And that's when I get my lawyer, and he knows like he's really like a good social security lawyer. He knows a lot of the judges and other lawyers that work within the social security system, and he doesn't take the case on unless he's pretty much going to get you approved.
Got you. And how did you find the lawyer?
My auntie used him for her stuff because she had a stroke. Then when my mom had a stroke, used the lawyer. So it's kind of like a family lawyer.
That's nice. You know, not a lot of people have a family lawyer. I know.
Yeah.
Um, so speaking of lawyers, are there any laws that you know of or policies that directly impact your life?
I would say most recently, probably how they're trying to like put into the Medicare and the Medicaid, um, and a lot of the stuff that they did with the beautiful bill, even though it's not that beautiful. Um, and with cutting down the student loans and healthcare. And I know they're trying to like make it harder for people to be on Social Security. That's one of the next things that they're trying to crack down on because they're trying to say it's so much. Medicare and Social Security fraud, and it's not that much compared to what they are hyping it up to be.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I'm personally being affected by that student loan stuff. I qualified for a scholarship last year, and this year they talking about it's under investigation because it's under DEI, and so they're trying to like get rid of the scholarship. The scholarship is because it has minority in the name, so it's minority
Oh wow.
teachers of Illinois. Yeah, yeah. So they won't issue the scholarship. But so yeah, no, I get it. He's doing it's a mess. Oh, but anyway, changing course a little bit. What is the biggest blessing about having your disabilities?
I think that it teaches me. I not that if I didn't have my disabilities, I probably wouldn't strive for some of the things. But when I go to my doctor's office, like they're surprised because the DeGeorge syndrome was only recently found out in like 1960, 1950. It's not that old of a, as far as the actual medical science name of it. It
Mm-hmm.
obviously existed before the 1960s, more than likely, but just the actual name, the George syndrome, the
Mm-hmm.
doctors didn't coin it until like 1950, 1960. So for my doctors, I'm one of their first patients that they get to see with all the elements of the DeGeorge syndrome. And when I was younger, they would be like, well, you probably won't be able to graduate eighth grade. I did that. And then they was like, you probably won't be able to graduate high school. That happened. And then when I graduated college, now they're kind of like, so what are you doing next? And
I
then
love it.
and so I guess that's the thing. I'm able to be even my doctor's inspiration because they don't get to see that many people with the DeGeorge syndrome live a full life.
That's beautiful. I'm finna cry. I don't know. That's wonderful. Real quick, can you spell the name of your syndrome for me so I can look it up?
Yes, DI, and
Uh-huh.
then George, like the first name George syndrome.
Okay. Okay. Two more questions and then I'm be out of your hair. All right. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Sometimes, even though I just said all the stuff I've achieved, I can be pessimistic sometimes when bad stuff first happens.
Mhm.
And I could get I guess that's probably a part of the mental disorder that I have. When things first happen, I kind of get down really quickly, just for 90% of the time for it to work out in my favor. I get
Mhm.
myself stressed and down for days, and then I still figure it out, but it's like if I wasn't, sitting down for a few days, I could have figured it out sooner.
Yeah, I feel look same. My thing is I gotta cry first. Like I could take on the world, but first let me cry.
Yep.
Yeah, after I'm done, we can work it out. But first, well, yeah. Okay, last question. If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
That's a good question. Um, Probably to be more aware of the bad people that are out there that don't mean you no good.
Mm. I got another question. I just thought about it. Has there been any cases where people have tried to take advantage of you because of your disability?
I think so. Um, they, I probably didn't recognize it because I'm not an easy person to get over on. But
Mhm.
thinking back, it probably was because of my disabilities. Yes,
What would they do? What would they try to do?
I just be. like mean in ways that they didn't have the right to be mean. But I mean, I could be mean back. So so I probably didn't recognize the signs that that could have been maybe a little bit abusive or taking advantage, because I always stand up and fight for myself right back.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't cross my mind, that they're trying to be mean or take advantage in the moment, because
Yeah.
I always stand up for myself.
Yes, ma'am. And so you look back and be like, they tried it. You be thinking back like, that fool like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything that you would like me to know about your disability and or living with the disability? Anything that you want to tell me about this that we haven't covered?
That people with disabilities sometimes have more stress than those without disabilities. I'm not just myself, but I had an uncle. He had Down syndrome, and people would always, sometimes people with Down syndrome have bad memories,
Mhm.
and they would always ask him, like, "Do you remember this person?" And he would look at him, pretend like he didn't remember, be like, "Yeah, I know who that is." Like, stop trying to play me, like,
Mhm.
because I got this illness. And he went to college. I didn't know this about him when he was alive. I learned about it at his funeral. But he went to college as well. He participated in like wheelchair races when he did need to be in wheelchair. And like, so I think that sometimes, not necessarily you, but other people, they hear disabilities, and if you like treat them the way the doctors want you to treat them initially, that then they may succumb to, like, the status quo of whatever their illness is supposed to be. But
Mhm.
if you do like we do in our family with different disabilities and treat people like they're normal, they can achieve past, what other limitations other people may limit the person who has the disability.
Mm, that's a word. I got nothing else for you. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you so much. If you want, I can send you a copy of the video if you want it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I'll send that before the night is out. It's gonna take a while to populate, and it'll send it to my email, and I'll just forward it on to you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. Okay.
You too. Bye
All
bye.
right.